is your assignment, right? Like this is the a simple network that we need to configure a DHCP for, DHCP, and then also configure emails for this network. Let me do this. So just to make sure that you know that it's a DHCP server. So this server plays a role of being a DHCP server, and then also no, I need to DHCP server, and then also I want it to be so DHCP server. Okay, for now let's make it a DHCP server. Okay, emails also must host our emails. Save an email server. So now we have that's our network, right, which is a 192.168.10.0/24, meaning that we only have 254 available IP addresses that we can assign to devices that we have. Let's say we have more devices on this network. Let me add more devices here. I can just have all these end devices on our network, and then let me automatically switch them on and plug them in there. So I have all these devices plugged in. As you can see, I don't have a router. I don't need a router because this is gonna be like just a local area network. I'm not communicating with other LANs. It's just gonna be this network only. So now I want this server to be DHCP, meaning that it's the one that we manually automatically assign, dynamically assign IP addresses to all of the devices that are connecting to my network, because I don't have time to manually assign, and then I don't have enough IP addresses to manually assign IP addresses to all of those devices, right? So the DHCP server, I'll be relying on the DHCP server to issue out IP addresses to any device that connects to my network, right? So I want to start with configuring the DHCP server first, and then move to configuring the emails. So let me say desktop, no services. Okay, let me start with assigning this device, this server, an IP address 192.168.10.10. Let's make it a 10. 192.168.10.254, but we don't have a DHCP, we don't have a default gateway. 192.168 10.10 he is the DHCP, he is the DNS server, so we're gonna assign him that IP address there. All right, so here's the IP address. So now we can move to services, and then on services we want to assign create a pool. So as you can see, there's the network that we're given 10.0/24. So that means let's start with the DHCP, start with switching on the DHCP server, because most people what they do is they just start by configuring, creating the pool, and then assigning IP addresses in there, or adding the default gateway, adding the DNS, and then they forget to switch on these. And then when they go to devices and then they say automatically receive a DHCP, automatically receive an IP address, you find that these devices are not able to receive any IP address because the DHCP service is off. So first start with switching on, and then give it a pool name, because when I create a pool where the devices are going to be receiving the IP addresses from that pool, and then 20.254 sorry, and then 255.255.255.0, and then 10. Start from 1. Okay, now on this network I'm not going to reserve any IP addresses, right? If we want to reserve, let's start from 20. Try that, but I know that the server, JCP server, won't reserve any. Okay, and then TFTP server, WLC server, we don't have that. So let's say add, and then it's added to our network. Let's review. So you can see the pool name AAT, and then default gateway, there it is, DNS server. Okay, something's wrong. So we have to edit that part there. This is the part of the DNS server, 192.168.10.10, not the subnet mask. Okay, let's say it already exists. Let's say save the changes, right? 10.10 and then 10.20 start IP address. Subnet mask is there. All right, fine. We have that, and then now we can go to any device and then we request a IP address. So we have the static, which is the part whereby you as the administrator you manually assign an IP address. You can go in and type in the IP address, but now we're relying on the DHCP server. So we're going to request, and then we receive 10.1, and then 10 there, and then let's try this side, IP configuration. So all of these devices must get an IP address via the DHCP. So desktop IP and then DHCP, it will get its own IP address, and then desktop IP, get the DHCP IP address, get the IP address from the DHCP, and then DHCP. So all of these devices are going to receive IP addresses. So it's the DHCP server. It comes in handy when you have like many devices in your network, and then you don't want to manually assign all of them the IP addresses. So you can rely on the DHCP server. And then also the other thing with the DHCP server, we said it borrows the IP addresses to devices. It leases those IP addresses to devices, so that when the device is not there, that same IP address can be used by a different device, right? So if a device is not on our network, or the lease expires, and then the IP address can be given to any device. So all right, we have managed to configure the DHCP. So now the next service that we want to configure is this email part, right? So we need to create a domain. A domain will be aat.com. So that's our company, aat.com. And then the users for that organization, the people that are going to need email addresses. So we had like maybe we have user one, right? And then let's say Cisco 123, that's the password, and then add the user to the server, and then user 2, and then password Cisco 123, and then add that user. And then if you want to check the information of the user, you can see there that's their password Cisco 123, and then we can verify again user 2 and then Cisco 123. There is the information of that user. So we have that information now. Okay, number two now, since we have configured that, we have the domain. Make sure that you set the domain. Okay, switch it on. So we've set the domain. It's fine. Now we can move to, so laptop 2. Yes, we have to assign user 1 on laptop. Okay, user 1 will go to laptop 1, and then user 2 will go to laptop 2. So it's like we are configuring the Outlook on these devices so that these guys will be able to send email addresses to each other. So, but first, you know what? We have to test connectivity between the two devices, meaning that I need to rely on a command called ping. So I just want to ping this one, and then, okay, it's a .2, 10.2. So let me ping 192.168.10.2. So you see it's able to communicate with that device. So the reply from 192.168.10.2. And then let me ping our server. You can see there's communication between the two, and then I can so that means now the next step that I need to take is configure email on this device. So there it is. Let's say your name. We've created user 1, right? And then user 1 8 aat.com, and then incoming. So here is the IP address of the server that we are relying on, .10.10 192.168.10.10, right there. And then here user 1, so that you'll be able to communicate with another user, and then the password was Cisco 123, right? So, and then let's configure the same. So we're configuring your Outlook, your emails with on this computer. So we have user 2, and then email address, say user 2 at aat.com. Incoming 192.168. That's supposed to be 10.10, yeah. 92.168.10.10. Username user 2, and then password was Cisco 123. So you need those passwords. So now let's compose an email. The email is going to user 1, right? User 1 at aat.com, and then subject is testing systems, and then say hi there, we TSD our server, and then we say if there's something wrong, the system will pick it up, and then say send successful. Send was a success, and then we check this side on laptop 1 if laptop 1, so it's like laptop 2, so like a user 2 was sitting there on laptop 2, maybe it's on the first floor on their building, maybe it's a bank or whatever it is the organization is, and then they're sending each other emails, right? So now it checks that if he has received any email, it says receive nothing, it says receive mail success, but we're not getting anything. Say receive, so he's not receiving anything. Let me check again. Did you send anything? Let's say send. Who are we sending to? Let me say configure mail, check user 2, looks fine. User 2 add the user 2. Let's check this side, configure user 1 add, and then say save that, and then say receive, but still is not receiving that email. Okay, let's use him to compose the email. Let's say user 2 at aat.com, and then subject testing, and then let's type in anything inside there, and then we say send. Say send success, and then let's check if he's receiving. Let's check. Let's say receive. We can see he's receiving the emails, mail delivery system. So I don't know why this guy wasn't able to receive anything. So we can send email to him. Let me say compose. Say send, and then check this side. Let's say receive. So it looks like he's not able to receive. Something is wrong this side. He's not able to receive, but he's able to send. So I'm sure you've seen this on emails whereby the other party is able to send emails, but the other part, and then able to send but can't receive anything. So aat.com, there it is, Cisco 123. So let's troubleshoot now, try to find out what's happening with these systems. Mail delivery status notification failure. So it says failure. So we can't send. Laptop 2 can't receive anything. Can't receive emails. Why? Let's say configure emails. User 1, 8 triple 168 10 to 10. I don't know what's going on here. Let's say Cisco 123. Let's say try to receive any emails. Say compose and then send it to him. Still is not receiving anything. Everything is configured correctly. Still receiving. So it's not. Okay, let me configure this. Let me create a user 3 here. Want to see something? What is it that is causing that? Let's say user 3, and then let's say 8. We have user 3, and then come to this device, and then let's add user 3. Packet tracer can give you some headache sometimes. Let's say user 3 email user 3 at aat.com 192.168. maybe 10.10 192.168.10.10, and then let's say user 3, and then password Cisco 123. Let's say save. Invalid email address is complaining. Okay, yeah, I made a mistake there. And then user 3, and then save that, And then let's say compose to, who's this guy here? So user one. When I communicate with user one, let's say user one 8 80.com, subject testing from user 3, testing from user 3, and then we say send. When I see something, if you'll be able to receive that, let's say receive. You see he's receiving from that PC. So our configurations was correct. It's just that the packet tracer is the one that might give you problems, while your configurations are accurate. So they always say that packet tracer is not stable and things like that. So yeah, that's how you configure or create an email address on these systems.